Thank you so much, Chibalonza. It's an honor to be here once again, and I'm excited today to be here alongside my mentor. Yeah, it's such an honor, truly. My name is Anne Nyakinywa Gathura. I'm passionate about mathematics. I run an organization called Anne's Maths Club, and what we do, we equip students. We act as a catalyst just to help them grasp mathematics in a fun way. We help them learn the concepts, and besides that, we also mentor them to just excel and pursue STEM courses as well. And I'm excited to be here to talk about education.
Oh, wow, nice. Congratulations on that. And then, of course, we have Lillian. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Lillian Nyaranga. I am a former maths and chemistry teacher, having taught in several schools across Kenya. Right now, I'm the founder of Elimu Shop. At Elimu Shop, we are trying to make the learning of maths and sciences fun through creation of resources that are very engaging and fun for children. Our focus is mainly on game-based learning. I'm also excited to be here and to be sharing the platform with you.
All right, thank you very much to you ladies. And first and foremost, I must commend you because the STEM courses have never really been associated with the girl child. It's always been ladies will do best home science, something to do with catering or something, maybe the languages will shine there. But rarely do we get ladies really sending themselves out there in the STEM courses. Perhaps I'll start with you, Mwalimu, since you've been dealing with the students one-on-one. How has the reception been, especially from the girl child, when it comes to the STEM courses?
Wow, generally the performance among girls, even at the national exams, the performance is generally lower compared to the boys, but we are having more and more girls excelling in these subjects. So I think from my experience is when girls see female, role models who are teaching maybe maths, chemistry, physics, biology, they get inspired. And also another way of ensuring that students are engaged in the learning process is how you make the classroom look like, Is it a classroom that is full of fear? Is it a classroom where there's a lot of anxiety? So when you make them get relaxed and you make them believe that they're capable of doing well, in a way it changes their attitudes and they become to love the subjects and start working hard toward that. I've seen that work a lot, and I've seen them improve based on how you encourage them and just make them feel that they're also capable of excelling in these subjects. Yeah.
And for you, and are there courses that you can encourage someone that if you continue with the STEM, you can get them here in Kenya, because it is believed that you will go study chemistry, maybe you love chemistry, but once you go and pursue it in the university, that's all. You'll just sit with your degrees at home. So are there courses that people can take, apart from teaching, of course, that you can say that they pay well, and that would be maybe a reason or a motivation for somebody to take the course, even for parents as they encourage their children?
Wow, amazing. And maybe even before we get to the course selection, I think one of the key things I would also encourage them, if they're able to develop that love, if they're able to build that confidence, then they can be able to take these courses actively. Personally, I pursued actuarial science in the university, and why I took this course was because of the passion I had for mathematics. So what I'd like to encourage them, there are so many courses out there. We have people in the finance sector, engineering as well, that you can pursue, and I'm just happy to also highlight that we have so many ladies that we mentor at our maths club. They come and give their skills to the young people in high schools, in primary schools, maths and computer science, integration of technology, and just guiding them. So there are so many courses, maths and computer science. I'd like to highlight that. We have engineering courses as well, can pursue actuarial science, and so many courses that they can be able to take up at the university level. So what I'd like to encourage you as a young girl out there, you can do it, and mostly you just have to believe in yourself. You have to give time and just work on it.
Wow,
yeah.
Nice.
And also, maybe to add on to that, I can say that we are living in a connected world.
Okay, awesome.
Some of these courses, STEM related, there's a high demand for STEM related courses, not just in Kenya, even globally. So when they are taking these courses, they should not just think locally.
Yeah.
They should also think about opportunities that are out there for them in other parts of the world. Yeah.
So maybe in because both of you are in the STEM world, maybe just in a phrase. I know this is a question both of you have been asked a million number of times, and I will ask it again, maybe for someone out there that can give maybe a definite answer. Is math difficult? If yes, why? If no, why? Tuanze mwalimu. Juu nimeona
Answer tuone. Just maybe she can start because she left school later than me, yeah, and then I can.
All right.
Okay.
Is math difficult?
Wow, no.
Why?
I'd say math is not difficult.
Now, why do people find it difficult?
Difficult. One of the key things, math is all about understanding the concepts, the basics. If you're able to understand the concept, then you can be able to tackle any question. And I think that is one major approach I love using when I work with students. We start from the basics. If you can understand the basics, if you can understand the concepts, trust me, it doesn't matter how the question will be set up or how then it will be. And one of the key things why I really appreciate mathematics, it helps you to think critically. Once you've understood this concept, so now you can now go ahead and apply them. It doesn't matter how the question is set up, as long as you have prior knowledge on the basics, then you can work on it. What many people miss on mathematics is they don't get to understand the basics. You know, sometimes the students are like, take me, and I'm like, chill. You know, and I think that's what I enjoy, like working with learners. Like, I'd meet someone and they're like, we have to, like, show me algebra. I want to understand. And I'm like, no, before we get to algebra, let's get to understand the basics. Are you good with fractions? Because you apply these fractions in the algebra. Are you good in integers? Do you know how to work with negative numbers? Do you know how to multiply the negative positive? Because all that is what will now help you when you get to work on the complex kind of questions. So what I would encourage the learners, focus on understanding the basics. Trust me, if you get the basics right, then maths becomes so easy. And just to share testimonials of some of the learners I've worked with, like after they've gotten to understand the basics, like you see them now getting confident, and once they're able to apply, they can do it. So it's all about understand the concepts and therefore get the basics right, you know, and just to go back to the basic multiplication table, like, because what really affects us in mathematics, I would say, is for maths, it requires speed and accuracy. So the speed will come in with the practice. As you practice, you get to know, I know the basics, you practice and you learn how to do it speedily. And also now accuracy. Avoid careless mistakes, because most people make careless mistakes and end up saying maths is hard. My friend, no. Just work on that careless mistake and you'll be able to excel in it. Okay.
I totally agree with her. The importance of building a strong foundation. Because math keeps building on each other. And math is a language. Just like English and Kiswahili, only that we communicate using numbers and sometimes letters.
Of course,
The letter part is where people normally have a problem. Why do you bring in letters in mathematics, you know? So, for example, I'm going to the shop to buy milk and bread. I give you money and then you give me change. I can convert that transaction into numbers, you know, to make sense you know. So for them, just understanding that it's a language that they need to learn, to understand, and then start developing that confidence, you know. If the foundation is very weak, once we start tackling higher mathematics or advanced mathematics, that's where the challenge normally comes in, you know. So for teachers, whether you're teaching primary, whether you're teaching high school, let's not assume the basics. for example, in high school, let me speak about high school. Normally when students come to Form 1, sometimes teachers tend to brush through the topics because these are things they learned in primary. So we'll just brush through them so that we start the high school work. But putting a lot of emphasis on that foundation. And then when we are moving to more advanced concepts in maths, it makes it easier for the learners to learn. I know sometimes maths can be very abstract, but for educators, we need to relate the abstractness to real life experiences so that students can be able to connect, you know, and understand why they're doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. Right now, you've mentioned high school. Right now, we are in the third term, of course. There is a Form 4 student maybe who's watching and is like, you guys are talking about basics. It's my last lap. I have an exam maybe in a month's time from now. How do I start going back to the basics from scratch? That's a lot of work, and I still have English and Kiswahili and biology and chemistry and all these other topics. What or how would you encourage this Form 4 student watching you right now?
Wow. Maybe going to the Form 4, what I'd like to encourage a Form 4 student, I'd like just to, I believe with working with the time that we have now. So if you can be intentional, you can highlight, and you know the good thing about maths, wow. You know, like the questions, the topics that will be tested are the same. We have the materials there, like, if you can intentionally, you know, we have the mid-familiar. If you can decide to focus, I'm going to focus, let's say, on a topic vectors. And for a Form 4, that will cost them like 10 marks, and they're sure it will not miss. So if you can just get someone to assist you, guide you through the steps from the scratch, how do you work on it? They can either test it in 2 sections. So if you're able to learn how to find the constants, if you're able to learn on this other key section. So if you could get someone and help them walk with you, help them guide you on how to go about them, and then practice. Like for the remaining days, you have like a month. If you can commit every day to learn one key section and focus on it, practice it, and I guarantee you, if you can put in the work and give in the effort, and what I would encourage you, I believe every mark matters, especially with maths. For what you know, perfect it so that you'll and avoid careless mistake, because that 1 mark is what will contribute to the
I am a living testimony. Hey, I know if my teachers watching, they're like,
okay. I think that's what I'd encourage. Every mark counts, so fight for that 1 mark.
Fight for that 1 mark. Okay, what about
Again, totally agree. You know, I have a very good student here. You know? In this month, a lot can happen. And when you're talking about basics, we are talking like Form 1, Form 2 work. By the way, one of the KCSE analysis showed that paper 1 mathematics is not normally well done. And that's a paper that normally covers Form 1 and Form 2 work, meaning that students ignore, you know, the foundation, you know. So the 1 month, yes, can count. Just how do you plan yourself? How do you time? What areas are you having challenges? Put more time on those areas where you're having challenges. Seek for assistance. This is a time for teamwork, you know, group work. Is there someone who understands these concepts well? Ask that person to assist. Look out for your teachers, you know, ask them to assist you. So practice, practice, and like Anne said, showing your method, because each step carries a mark. Even if you don't get the answer correct, but the steps are, you'll get 1 or 2, which is better than getting a 0, you know. So practice, have confidence, and then consult, and then also put in the work, you know, where areas where you have a lot of challenges, put more time there. As compared to maybe areas where you've understood the concepts. And believe in yourself. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it,
guys. So let's get to the to the heavy part, or to the juiciest part of this conversation, which is what each of you is doing individually in your own way to change the teaching sphere, or to change the teaching, the teaching sphere as it is right now. This is your time to just talk out your heart, and as we say in Kenya, uza sera. But I'd want to know or to understand what each of you, because I've realized you individually in your own way, in as much as it's all education, but individually in your own ways, you've come up with ways to make studies or education not just normal, not just good morning class, where were we yesterday? Okay, we were page 10, aya, fungueni page 11, but you've made it quite different, and you've changed the atmosphere of learning, starting with you. And so just tell us a bit about what you're doing.
Amazing. Wow, thank you so much. Just like I shared earlier, I run an organization, a mathematics club, and what we do at Anne's Maths Club, just like you've shared and just like Lillian has shared, the challenges that learners have in line with mathematics. So for us, we come and share this passion and this joy for mathematics. And how do we do this? We offer maths club sessions for learners in different key communities. Currently, we are running a project called Mathematics Mtaani. And what we do, one of the key things that we focus on is on how we group the learners. We are very intentional to group them according to their abilities, because for us, we believe that everyone can understand mathematics. So we support them at their level. We meet the learners where they are. Are you struggling with the basics? We meet you there. Are you struggling with the advanced? We meet you there. So that is one of the key things that we do. Besides that, we also work with a passionate team of dedicated teachers who are also passionate about mathematics. And you know, when we come together, share this love, just like our slogan is, I love mathematics. So that is one of the key things in ways in which we support learners. Besides that, we also offer online tutorials. If you're struggling with mathematics, you can check us online. You know, we share these tutorials just to support the learners. So yeah, in brief, that is what we do. That is what we are doing to impact the community. And maybe just to touch on one of the communities that we've worked with Furaha Community Center. And by working with these learners, we experience high success through the Maths Mtaani engagement session. We had actually, math had the highest number of A's in the last KCP class. We'd see of all the subjects, math was topping. No students scored the lowest grade. By then it was the E. And also just to highlight, they all transitioned. So we are more focused on supporting them where they are, just to help them to be able to love it. And also just to highlight, in line with the high school students, we've seen them take, engineering courses. Just yesterday, I received a message from a parent that your student has gone to university, and that gives me joy. So, I'm just a maths champion. Yeah, and definitely I'm here to support the learners to love this subject and also to excel in it and to pursue STEM courses. And maybe just to share some key statistics, according to the government, especially now, as they're looking to help more learners, take up the STEM pathways, 60% of them. So we are trying to see how can we bridge that gap to help learners who were not doing well in maths. How can we, come and support also the government in ensuring that they're able to meet this target by raising more communities where more learners can be able to take up this Maths Mtaani sessions and excel in it. Yeah.
If maybe I just may ask you before I even move to Mwalimu, what is different about Anne Maths Club? Because I remember in my time there was a Maths Club, and all we'd do is somebody saw a sum somewhere. Maybe during the holiday, you saw this sum, and it was like, guys, we cannot solve this. And then you come, you write it on the board, and it's like, oh my God, if we use this, no, we cannot use this, we don't have this. Oh my God, because that's what the Maths Club was all about. So how different is Anne Maths Club from the normal Maths Club, or how different should it be run?
Wow, amazing. So what makes us different and unique? For us, everyone is welcome. Maybe just to, like in the past, like Maths Club used to be for this kind of people.
Yeah, Sisi Machopi.
But what we do now in our sessions, like I shared earlier, we meet everyone at their level. So everyone is welcome. We support learners at their different levels. And also one of the key things that really works for us is the passion that we have for the subject. Maybe just to highlight one testimony said by a student, I have, you know, Anne has taught us maths in a fun way. We love it and we enjoy it. So for us, it's more about helping them to love the subject. As much as they understand the concept, they also get to love it, they embrace it, and they gain confidence in it.
But let me just ask, so you come, it's Anne Maths Club, it's club time, and Anne is there with your beautiful smile and your enthusiastic self, and I've seen you dancing with the kids, and children are enjoying and they're having fun, but then you go away, and God forbid, the teacher who comes in is Mr. Masharia. Good morning, class. Where are we? Algebraic expression. The kid is looking forward to seeing mathematics is fun, but then they get algebraic expression. How does a child balance or move your enthusiastic, the enthusiasm that you've given them, even when you're not there?
Amazing. One of the key things that we do as we work with the learners, we also support the teachers. So we also bring them on board in our club sessions, just to show them this is the approach that we are doing. And just like I said, as we group them in their different groups, we are able to support them at their key levels. And one of the key things we are very intentional about, we avoid discrimination in the club, no matter where you are. So if we are able to show them, we are here to support all of us at the different levels. So even after we've left, like already we've built that culture. And one of the key things, one of the things that we focus on is the basics. So if we drill in the basics, if we help the learner to do the basics, I guarantee you, after we are done with that, I'm confident just to say, good, like I know this child can do it, because now they've learned. After you've shown them the basics well, they've gotten to do a bit of complex and they've seen, actually the problem was myself. If I had taken time to understand this, I can do this. So for us, we come in, offer that simplified approach to understand the basics. We are very intentional to help them understand the basics. And after that, they can be able to run with it wherever they go, no matter where they are. Finally, they can be able to take it.
Because I'm hearing your method of approach is group-wise. But then children are different. There are those who are fast, there are those who are slow. There are those who are naturally good in maths. Like even before Anne Maths Club came, I was good in maths. So now I'm seated and these people do not understand why we're saying Sokatoa. They do not understand where the opposite is and where the hypotenuse is. They do not, and personally, Mimi na understand. And I feel like the more you're teaching it, I'm getting bored, I'm losing interest. How do you handle that?
Amazing. So one of the key things, like I said, we work with a team of passionate, you know, also university students who are already practicing in the field of maths and, you know, preparing as well for the next stage. What we do, as we group the learners, we group the teachers, because even for us as teachers, we have different, you know, personalities. Personally, I can engage with any kind of learner. I can work with the one who requires time. I can work with the one who wants us to just go and go and go. So what we do as we group them, we also group the teachers, the people who work with them in the group sessions. So you're able to give, like if you're patient enough, you will really help and support the time takers. If you want to run and run and run, you know, you focus on those who are
the runners.
They just want to focus on that.
Kipchoge.
Yes. So I think that is one key thing. So I would say how we group them, I think that's it, because then we are able to support them, even in terms of the teacher support. And you can attest, if you're able to even group the teachers, because we have different personalities, then your learners can be able to really benefit as well. But also besides that, one of the key things we do, we also offer mentorship, focusing on helping a child to grow holistically. So through the mentorship sessions, they're also able to gain courage, you know, self-efficacy, focusing on the 21st century skills. We help the students in terms of collaboration as they work together, you know, help them develop their problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and also as we engage the teachers, one of the key things I'm passionate about is coaching the teachers, especially focusing on learner-centered teaching methods. How can they use inquiry-based learning in the classroom? How can they use, you know, active learning? How can they use project-based learning? So these are some of the key things I'm also passionate to share and guide the teachers so that they can implement these methods in the classroom. Remember, you want the learner to run the show. So, you know, we are transitioning from the traditional teaching methods to, you know, now the modern teaching method. The learner, as a teacher, you're now coming in as a facilitator, not just like how we do it before. So I think if you're able to balance, incorporate the 21st century skills in the classroom, ensure that the teachers actively use this learner-centered teaching methods, then you are sure that as the learners, and also one of the key things, we embrace technology, and I'm happy that Lillian is here, and I know she'll be able to share how now through the partnership we have with her organization, how we are bringing in the technology in the classroom, how we are bringing it gamification in the classroom, and I know she'll share more about it because you want the learner to enjoy as much as they get to learn.
Very good. That is a very good way to slide to Mwalimu's corner. Mwalimu, so let's start from the very start. What are you doing that is different that we are not accustomed to seeing?
One of the concerns I had as a teacher was the low engagement and disinterest in the subjects that we usually teach, you know, maths and the sciences. If you're not careful as a teacher, you may end up teaching only 2, 3, you know, students in a class, and the others are in their world, you know. And the exam results attest to this. Like for instance, the 2016 KCSE results showed that about 10% of the students managed to get C- and above. 10%.
Imagine.
Think about the 90%.
It's huge.
Who thinks about that, you know? I mean, they're not being part of the learning process, you know? And as Anne had shared, you know, learning needs to be inclusive. We need to bring equity in the classroom so that each and everyone is able to learn at their level, you know. So this was a big concern to me, and yeah, I left the profession about 9 years ago to do what I'm doing right now. So I was thinking, how can we change this? What is it about maths and sciences that make learners not to be engaged, that make their performance to be low? And I looked at how we were teaching these subjects, and I started asking myself, what can we do differently? You know, how can we change this? You know, does math have to be taught in this way, where I just come with a textbook, I give an example, and then maybe call 1 or 2 students to the front to come and do an example written on the board, and then after that I give them exercise, and then I start marking, and then come next day the same routine, you know. Yeah, so yeah, Elimu Shop started in 2017. Initially it was an online platform for where teachers could put innovative teaching and learning resources, and then other teachers access it. But later in 2018 we changed the model, whereby we started creating these innovative resources, because we saw that there was a gap there. You know, like when you tell teachers to develop innovative resources, innovative and engaging, what does that even mean, you know? Yeah, so we started developing these resources, and I started focusing on game-based learning because in the previous school I was in, I'd used some of these gaming platforms, and I saw how engaged, how it made students more engaged. Even those students who under normal circumstances would be disconnected were involved in the learning process. So I was like, this is an area that I need to really do a lot of research on to see how gaming can affect learning and how gaming can encourage active participation or active learning. Yeah, so that's how we started developing the game-based learning resources. And yeah, our first game, of course, was not very successful because it was a start.
Of course.
But later we came up with our flagship product, which is now the Equation Explorer, which is currently in the market. And we've been able to go to schools to demonstrate this game. And what normally happens is that when schools call us, we normally have a session with the teachers. You know, you have a workshop, you share with the teachers what game-based learning, because this is still a new concept in Kenya, what game-based learning means and how it can impact the learning process. You let them experience the game, and once they've experienced, you get their buy-in. They're like, this is actually something that can work in the classroom. You know, with students, we've had a very positive feedback from them. We've been able to use it in the classroom, and we've seen how engaged the classroom has become. Of course, there are challenges also that have come with these demonstrations, like the moment the students start stopping, can be a challenge. We did it with the Arts Math Club. We had to, you know, force it to, and because it can go on and on, because naturally learners are competitive. People generally are competitive, and that's what makes games very engaging. You know, so we've had quite a lot of testimonials. I keep receiving, for parents who bought the game, I keep receiving feedback on how their children are, you know, love the game. They just want to play it in the house, which excites me, because the CBC encourages parental engagement. So I mean, if they're playing with their children, then that's a good thing. But besides that, besides teaching numeracy skills, Equation Explorer also can develop the core competencies of the CBC. You know, like it's a game that enables children to think strategically on the best moves that will give them high scores. It makes them work in teams. It makes them be creative and also problem solvers. But it also gives them confidence, you know, because we've had students say, I didn't know maths was this fun, you know. This game has made me look at equations differently, you know. So for those who don't know, Equation Explorer is actually a math board game that is an equation building game. So players are able to build equations, and it's able to teach different concepts ranging from addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, have I left integers, algebra, and even mixed operations. And
I think we had it here the last time we were here, and we played it, and it was a fun game. Till date, it is oof. Let me just not go there. Well, there's something you mentioned when you were starting. You said you left your career. How was it transitioning from a career that you've studied for and you have led people to sit for exams, be in class, to quitting it altogether? Was it a tough decision, or was it you sleep, you wake, you decide?
It was a tough decision. Moving to a new space is never easy, you know, especially if it's a career you've been doing for quite a long time, you know. It wasn't very easy, but it's something that I'd been thinking over a long period of time. But still, I still tell people, I've never left teaching. I'm still supporting education, but in a different area. So, I mean, it wasn't easy, but I'm happy with what I'm doing, and the teaching experience or the classroom experience is actually what is enabling me do what I'm doing right now. If it wasn't for that experience, I wouldn't be doing. I will be developing resources and all that. So,
and how is the reception so far?
Reception with the
with the gaming, and because there are parents I know, especially the old school kind of parents, will go like, huyu analeta mchezo kwa darasa, huyu analeta mchezo, hii ni mchezo. We need people who are serious, people who are focused. They only want to hear what is why do I need to play 1 + 1 is 2? Well, I can literally teach it in the blackboard, and I will never be asked that question in the exam. So just teach you what I need to know about mathematics and not have me play around.
Yeah, that's a good question. The reception, you know, every time you start something new, there'll always be people who'll be resistant to that.
Yeah.
But we'll always have also those who are early adopters. There's some parents who immediately, the moment you mention game, immediately it clicks.
Yeah.
They're like, this is what should be.
Yeah, should be done.
Should be used in school. But there are others who you really need, they really need a lot of time for them to be convinced.
Yeah.
The same case applies to teachers, you know. There are those who will immediately get the idea, but there are those who will need a lot of time convincing. That is changing their mindsets. So that's what I've been doing. When I go to school, first of all, I normally have sessions with teachers where we have a workshop. So I take them through what game-based learning actually entails, the psychology behind it. Because the moment you students become engaged and motivated in a learning process, they stay longer in the task and they become more interested in what they are doing. And that means that they put in a lot of work. They start changing their attitudes. They start looking at that subject from a different perspective. So that's what the teacher should be thinking about. You know, when I'm bringing this game, so that it helps change the attitude of the majority of the learners who fear maths or who feel that maths is just for a selected few.
There are those students who will just, because I remember the other time when we had the game, even right here, the people who just saw it and were like, is this Scrabble? I'm like, no, it's a mathematical game. Maths, no. There are people who are just, they won't even dare try. They just hear the word maths or chemistry or biology or physics, and immediately they build this wall around it. What would you say to such people?
Okay, the best way of bringing these people in is just to let them experience it.
Yeah.
Even for teachers who've been resistant, when I've told them, just experience it, you immediately see the change. And the same case applies to the students. Experience it. And the moment they see, you know, like I created an equation and I scored.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Hey, it's
you
fun.
know, you mean I can do this, you know?
It's fun. I remember when we played it, I almost forgot I was working. I almost forgot I was hosting a show because it's fun. It's engaging.
Yeah, and I won.
Yeah. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. No, let me put it this way. She let me win. She allowed me to win. But it was fun. It was engaging. And thank you very much for the two of you, what you're doing. It's really abnormal, but in such an amazing way. And I wish we had such when I was growing up, because I remember, and I think I shared with both of you, I am a mathematic enthusiast, so this is really home for me. I am a mathematical enthusiast, and one of the greatest challenges I had in class was at times, and the question I had, I think I was asking for myself also, I'd feel like, nini amwelewi? Kwa nini amwelewi? Sasa tunarudia kitu tena, and it will really piss me off. And then there are times the teacher will come to class really tired or stressed or from wherever, and she just look at the class, and the class is not understanding, and then she just look at me like, Chibalonzo umeelewa? Hey, teacher tuendelee, good. Na ataendelea. Like that was it. For me, it was good. Those are the lessons I loved most when the teacher was tired, because that means ataendelea for me. But for those who are the time takers, I love that word. They're not slow, they're just time takers. But for those who are time takers, it will really inconvenience them in a huge way. So I would want you, maybe in your own words, H, to maybe talk to that time taker who is in a class with a teacher who is maybe always, my teacher was sometimes when she was tired, sometimes she will do that. And then other times she'll just, when she's in the spirits or in the fields, she'd take time, she'd be all creative and stuff. So what would you say to that student who's like, okay, maths is fun, but my teacher, my teacher is a mathematical Kipchoge. how would you encourage them?
Wow, mathematical Kipchoge.
Mathematical Kipchoge.
I like that. I think what I would like to highlight is the aspect of collaboration. Like for math, it requires teamwork. Like even for me, I would say it is through the support I also received from my teachers and the classmates I had. And I think one of the key things that I've experienced, especially while interacting with high school students, I don't know what's happening in the schools at the moment. Most students will tell me, like, my classmates refuse to even show us. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's happening in the schools? Yeah, so I would encourage you, if you can get someone to hold your hand. I think for me, one of the key things that really helped when I was in high school, I was never afraid. My friend, if you can help me, I will come and sit down. Like if you can just look for someone and request them politely and just allow them to teach you, allow them to walk with you. And yeah, and I believe you will not miss. There's someone in your class who has that heart of giving. Like back then, I remember in high school, like most of the preps time, I would spend with my classmates, would be there discussing, assisting each other and guiding each other. Because at times the teacher is trying to finish the syllabus, So what I'd encourage you, get someone in the class. If you can get a group, work together, like work collaboratively, like, then you can be able to get it. So I'd encourage you, kindly, don't be afraid. Ask.
Approach someone.
Yes.
Yes. As a teacher.
Yeah, and I'll speak to the teachers mostly. I know sometimes, you know, with the curriculum, we are forced to rush, you know, so that we complete it in good time.
Of course.
But I'm looking at the CBC curriculum, and I really love the concept of the CBC, because it's a curriculum that wants to ensure that all the learners are taken into consideration in the learning process. We have this term called differentiated instruction. This is a form of instruction where the learning takes into consideration the different needs based on abilities, interests, and needs of the learners. And it requires a lot of planning. I'm not saying that it's easy. As teachers, we know our students in the classroom. We know the levels at which they are in. So when you are planning the lessons, are we planning with the different needs and ability levels in class? Is it possible that as I go to class, I'll have work for students who are the Kipchoge Kenyans, and then the time takers, so that each one is learning at their level. And in a way, everyone will feel like they are included in the learning process. This is better than a one-size-fits-all that is normally in most schools. You know, like you come up with a question, and the question, majority of the learners have been left out, you know, because they totally do not understand. So let's try and encourage a learning which is inclusive and takes into consideration all the learners, so that everyone is involved in the learning process and no one is left out.
Thank you very much. Now, there are people, or students especially, of course, you know, in the curriculum that we have here in the 254 in Kenya, mathematics is compulsory. It is mandatory. It is unavoidable. But there are students who are like, I'm not gifted in maths. I don't think they should force it down our throats. I think maths should be optional, and it should go to students who are like Nyakenywa here, who ace it when it comes to maths. Then because mimi ni mwimbaji, they should introduce music, and you know, I should be there singing my heart out. What would you say to such a student or to such a perception? Tunaanza na wewe. Wewe ndio nimeona you're for the students, you're for the teacher.
Wow. One thing I'd like to encourage the students, the beauty about mathematics, it helps you to have a broad, like you get to think big. Like it opens up your mind. There's a way you're not limited. And just like the concepts, as you're applying them, you can have one concept, but it can apply in different scenarios. And I think that really, if you're able to start thinking like that, you develop the critical, thinking, you develop problem solving. There's a way math stretches your brains as well, because you get to think, you're working on it. And that not only helps you in the classroom, you would find even when you go out of school, if you're in your community, there's a way you can address problems as you come across them. There's a way you can easily just get to them. So I'd encourage you stop thinking about maths in terms of the class setup as only. Just think about it as a subject that helps broaden your mind, helps you to learn problem solving skills, helps you to become a critical thinker. You're not limited to, you have to think, you have to put in the work. And I think if you're able to twist your mindset in that direction, then you can be able to approach anything outside. And I think one of the parents, I was sharing with one of the parents, and this parent was telling me, I want my children to excel in maths. I want them to know maths. And I was asking him why. And he told me, everyone who understands mathematics, they always in a way excel in life. And I went home thinking that, and I'm like, what did that man say?
You know maths.
Yeah, for sure. There's a way it just opens up your mind, and there's a way you're able to think critically. You're able to take up problems and solve them. So I'd encourage you, it's not for a specific kind of people. You just need to stretch yourself and get to understand the basics. Just open yourself up, get to start practicing even the complex work. Just be very positive about it, and you would see yourself excelling.
Mwalimu, wale ambao nafikiria haifai kuwa compulsory.
You see, we are not here to say that everyone should get an A in maths, but everyone can pass in maths. There's no reason why someone should get a D minus and E. Everyone is capable of passing in maths. And maths is not just important for those who want to pursue STEM-related careers. It's also important for the non-STEM related careers. Even the music that you've talked about, there's a lot of maths in that. Even in the dancing. The other day I realized for you to dance, the steps have to be systematic.
Hata wakianza 5, 6, 7, 8. That's maths.
If it's not, someone will be like, there's something wrong with that,
Choreography.
So maths is all around us. When you go shopping, when you travel, when we are cooking in the kitchen, when you're saving, budgeting. I mean, all around us, there's a lot of maths. Even in this room where we are in. When I look at it, I'm like, if the maths was not done well, for example, the person who made this table, imagine if the measurement wasn't correct, how would this stool look like, so maths is all around us. And like Anna's shared, maths is not just for us to build our numeracy skills, also the competency skills that are needed by everyone in the world. We need to think critically about issues around us. We need to be problem solvers. There's so many problems in Kenya. We need people to come up with solutions to these problems. We need to be creative people. We need to work in teams. These are key 21st century skills that are needed by everyone, and maths is one of those subjects that is able to build these skills in every learner. So maths is important for you, whether you're pursuing engineering or you're pursuing music or content development or YouTube influencer, you'll need maths.
You'll need maths. Awesome. Now that's all the time we had for today. Time flies, I tell you, when the conversation is sweet. Maybe I'd love you to maybe send your shout outs, your last words of encouragement and all that.
Wow, amazing. Just for me, it's just to encourage the learners, keep pushing, keep going, and if you're able to take what you've shared, you'll be able to really excel as well. And I wish you all the best. And and
shout out. Salimia watu.
Amazing. And I'd like just to shout out, when I think about my journey, I thank God for my family. My parents, Mr. Francis Kathura, who is one of our sponsors at Ants Maths Club, Green Ages Commercial Agencies in Nakuru. Amazing, and a big shout out to you. And also just to shout out my mom, Rachel Gathura. You can check her on YouTube, a gospel minister. Yeah. and just to highlight, actually, when I started in 2020, we worked hand in hand. At that time is when she launched her YouTube channel. So as I was sharing my maths content, she was also sharing the gospel music out there as well. So I thank God for that motivation. And also just to thank God for my siblings, you know, David Gitao, Kevin Gathura, Esther Gathura as well, for the great support. And I think also just to shout out the community and also the team at Ants Maths Club. Jennifer, I see you. You know, Patrick, thank you so much. Carla, and all the volunteers who come in just to share this love, this passion for maths. I really appreciate you guys, and a big shout out to you. Let's keep on.
Where can we find you? Where can we find Ants Maths Club?
Amazing. On all platforms, it's Ants Maths Club. Check us out. You can reach us on Facebook. You can reach us on Instagram. On YouTube, we have amazing and simplified maths tutorials. Please engage with us right there. And also, you can email us. We have our website, www.antsmathsclub.com. If you'd like to engage with us, if you'd like to have private one-on-one session, group sessions. During the holidays, we run amazing bootcamp programs, maths and science. We welcome you to come on board and get to this side of I love maths.
Yeah, so for me, I would just like to encourage all the students to just develop that positive attitude towards maths. Love maths. Maths is fun. Just playing with numbers, you know. And then also for the teachers, encouraging teachers to be innovative. You know, let's come up with solutions to solve the challenges that we are experiencing in the classroom, especially in the subjects of maths and sciences. The solutions are there with us, you know. So we just need to be bold and do what we need to do. You don't need to leave classroom, you know. And for the Form 4s, of course, I want to wish you all the best in your forthcoming exams. May God be with you and may you excel. Shout outs, wow. I'm not like Anne, but yeah, I just want to shout out to all my supporters. I have quite a number of supporters online, on the social media platforms. My family, they've been so supportive to me. My team members, there's Shem, there's Emma. Thank you for the support that you keep giving me. The organizations that I belong to, for instance, Metis has been so supportive for the work that I'm doing. And also grateful to God. You know, if it weren't for Him, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Santeni sana. Thank you very much, Ants Maths Club. Thank you very much, Elimusho. This has been amazing. It has been an amazing conversation. And thank you very much to you, my esteemed viewer, for being with us from the start to the very end. It is the end of EBN TV Morning Live. My name is Consolata Chipalonza. Until next time, love mathematics. Bye.